Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful people, depending on what time you see this. Welcome to Astute Queen Bee's channel. I am Astute Queen Bee. We are over here. We are called the Royal Gladiators because we never give up and we never surrender. I pray that everyone is doing well, keeping you all in my prayers, as I ask that you do the same for me. This was a video that has been sitting, waiting for me to upload for a while. But I decided to do it over because I don't think I put enough into it. So, this is a pre-recorded video, but I would appreciate it that if you come through these doors of my queendom, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would truly appreciate it. And these are my opinions and how I see things through life. So it's not about particularly anyone, but it is about children. And when couples break up or couples have children, and they get to the point where they start using their children as pawns because they don't know how to function themselves. Now, what I wanted to say was, I wish men and women would stop using their children as pawns in their relationships or their separations. And the reason why I say that, people don't seem to realize kids know and see everything. Whether you believe they've seen it or not, they see it. They hear the things and they feel responsible for themselves, that they're the reason why the family has broken up. And I pray to God that anybody that's going through a divorce or custody battle will have that conversation with your children and let them know that the divorce has nothing to do with them. The end of your relationship has nothing to do with them. Because children automatically think that the parents don't get along because of them. I wish men and women would stop taking their kids and trying to use them as a bank. And what do I mean by use them as a bank? I'm going to use Mr. Martell and Queen Melody Cherie. That man, I have seen men do it, so that's the best one I can add it to and use for this commentary is Hotel Holt and Queen Melody Cherie. Because that man is lazy. There are a lot of lazy men. I don't care if it's black, white, orange, green, purple, any color. There are a lot of lazy men out here. And they try to take the spotlight from their women. And when things don't go their way, they want to sue them for custody for them kids. But they only do it because to hurt the mother or the father, whoever has custody. It's not about what's right or wrong, who's the better parent, who is going to be there for those kids 24/7, 365. See, a lot of men, not a lot, but some men, I won't say a lot, so I apologize for that. Some men really believe that they should have full custody of kids that they only see for a week. And right now I'm only using that scenario with Miltel and Queen Millie Cherie. That man does nothing. That man don't have a job. He wants the judge to grant him access and full custody for that child so he can get a check. It's not about those kids, it's about a check because he's too lazy and he's too simple-minded to come up with his own ideas instead of taking from each and every other person what was given and what he should have worked hard for himself to obtain. Like Melody says all the time, and I love it, and I've started using it in my life, for every demon, 5 blessings. That man will never find peace until he finds himself doing right by her and those kids and stop lying. That's when he'll find peace. When he stops lying and stop trying to use those kids against her. Because when I listen, those kids sound like they're in an army somewhere. Because every time they respond, it's yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't hear dad. I hear yes, sir. But when they talk to their mom, it's mommy. If y'all never paid attention to that. Also, that so-called man, he's a man child because his mama didn't do her job properly. No disrespect, but that's how I see it. Because if she did her job properly, that man would not be running these streets acting like a fool like he is. He would not be taking this woman back and forth to court for their children when he knows he don't even want them children. He want the child support in his pocket so he can take care of all 5 of his children. And that's dead ass wrong. You think because you handsome in the face that people should really stop doing what they're doing and let you take custody of their kids and mess their kids' minds up? Everybody know he's not that smart. You ain't teaching them kids. She's teaching them how to grow up, be responsible, what work is about, what life is about. She's not out here fronting for people. And the people that think she is, y'all crazy. Because see, if she was really out here fronting, you'd see that woman online every single day dragging him through the mud like he should be. And all these women that, oh my God, he's so fine. Honey, being fine don't make you a great father. Showing pictures of you every once in a blue moon with your kids, that don't make you a great father or a great mother. What makes you a great parent is that you make sure your children have the things that they need. Not always the things that they want, but the things that they need. Grown men and grown women that made a choice to lay down with that other person. They might not have chose to have a baby, but they did. But I need women too. I can't just put it on him because there are a lot of women that like to take their children and keep them away from their parent, the other parent, until they do what that person asked them to do. That's not co-parenting. That is putting strengths and restrictions on people. People need to realize if y'all are together or separated and y'all are sharing custody of the kids, you should be able to sit down like adults, have conversations, and work out a plan that is best for your children, not a plan that's best for you. See, that's what he thinks about. He thinks about what's best with him, best for him. There are millions of women that work. They could have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids, but they bust their tails and they work to support their children. Even men that have good jobs. He doesn't even have a job. And if a hotel doesn't have a job, how are you going to pay for your children? Like, you try to turn the whole world, you and them snot people try to turn the whole world against Mel. And that's sad. But I want y'all people, again, to stop using your children as pawns, because everybody is plotting. The other parent is always plotting against the other parent, and that's not cool. There should become a time after your relationship is over that you sit down together with the kids and have a conversation if they're old enough. But don't use your kids for a check. Grow up. Be a man. See, being a man has nothing to do with your testicles, your private parts. Has nothing to do with that. Being a man is being a person, a man of honor. That man is not a man of honor. A man will handle his business without anybody ever telling him to do what he's supposed to do. Even women. It's very rare, but it does happen on occasions when the courts will give custody to the dads, because the dads can play that game. And once they get them, they push them off on somebody else. So don't use your kids as pawns. Use your understanding of life and the things that you went through in your past, whether your father or mother was there or not. Think about the things that you've been through. Don't put your kids in that position. Children are innocent. And nobody, mother or father, should use those kids for a paycheck to hurt the other parent. Like, I think it should be against the law to record your kids to make them say negative things about the other parent and then play it online. I think that's disrespectful and foul. I think any man or woman that does that is trash. And trash is not even the word I wanted to use, but they're trash because you make it to a point where you have the primary or custodial parent with the kids, but when they go spend time with the other parent, you want to dictate to them what they can and can't do. Also, let me say this. I want men and women. This is another thing that men and women love to do by using their kids as pawns. They like to use their kids and think because you had a baby with that person, that person has to sleep with you whenever you feel like it. No, men and women need to get that right. Don't think you just go back and sleep with somebody just because you had a kid with them. That ain't cool. I've seen that done too. And I'm like, where do you people get the nerve to say because we have children together, we can still sleep together? I think that's a little weird. And anybody come in the building, please hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Astute Queen Bee's Thoughts. I am Astute Queen Bee, and I cover various topics. Mostly, I go over devotionals, affirmations. My channel is a channel of positivity, and I want to keep it that way. But I will not never lie. I do have a couple of rants on here, so when I feel like going off, I go off. It is what it is. But people, parents, stop using your kids as pawns. They're not chess pieces, they're children. They have feelings, they have emotions, and they know when things are right and when things are wrong. They notice. So stop acting like children are stupid, because children aren't stupid, and they aren't that very naive. If they grew up in a house with you, they know how you act. They know the things that you would do, the lengths you will go to. But again, stop using your kids as pawns. Your kids are your kids. They're not toys. They're not tools. They're people with feelings and emotions. I'm not saying you have to. Matter of fact, let me say this. Again, I appreciate anyone coming in the building. Yes, this is a recorded video. It was done before, but I had to do it over because I had too many things going on. But also, I wish people would stop using their kids to, I call it tattletelling, because that's how it is. When you went one parent, you are being, what do they call it? I can't even think of it now. You are being questioned all the time about what your other parent does. Stop worrying about what the other parent does when the parent has them, as long as they're not putting in children in harm's way. If you're a parent and you love your children, you will never put them in harm's way. But if you're one of those people that are just out for revenge to hurt the other person, I promise you, God don't like ugly and he ain't too fond of pretty. So be cautious and careful what you do with your children, because some parents also don't realize if you use your kids to fight your battles or use your kids as a pawn, trust and believe those kids will grow up and resent you later and may not want to have a relationship with you because you try to turn them on the other parent. Don't do that, y'all. For real, don't do that. Do not use your kids as pawns. Do not use them to get a bigger, what is it called? I forgot it just that fast. My brain keeps going blank. Oh, alimony. Well, not alimony. Child support. Stop using your kids for child support. Try to work out an agreement with the other parent. Go to a lawyer's office and write up an agreement that y'all will have to abide by. And the reason why I say that is because when you take it to the court, some people don't realize think you're going to get all this money in child support. You're not going to get all that money in child support. Technically, what you both should be is we both be responsible for your children at the same time. It should never be a child support issue when you grew up and raised your children in your home together, unless the person is unhinged. And we all understand that he is very unhinged and he's a compulsive liar. And there's a lot of people out here in this world like that. There are things that people do to their children that traumatize them for life. Never make your children have to pick between either parent. Grown men need to grow up. Especially a lot of grown men that don't have fathers, that didn't have fathers raising them when they grew up. They need to sit back and think, what would I do? How would I feel if that was me? Even mothers, how would I feel if that was me? See, the difference between mothers and fathers, unless that those women are just evil spirited people, they won't have a problem with sharing the kids with you as long as you are a stand-up person. You're not using your kids. You're making sure that they're fed, clean, and not lying to other people and make other people think that that person is a bad parent. When lots of times the parent that has the kids, and like I said, I'm not talking about a mother or a father. Usually when the parent, whatever parent has the kids, they will make sure that the other parent doesn't see them if they know that they're a violent person, that they're a disrespectful person, and that they know that their other parent has no self-control. Because if you have a parent that can be vile and angry, verbally abusive, mentally abusive, physically abusive, I don't think those kids should have to be around that person at all. That's just me. Others may think differently, but that's how I think. You shouldn't have, and if you have visitation rights, that person should have to have supervised visitation rights. But I want men and women to grow the hell up, get a life, stop trying to drag the other parent down. Y'all lay down and y'all made those kids or child or whatever. You have to learn to stand in your mess. When you mess up, don't put your flaws and your mess ups, I almost cussed, your mess ups off on the good parent. And I say good parent because if that parent is taking care of them kids, nurturing those kids, teaching those kids how to write, walk, speak, business-wise, school-wise, make sure that they are good, and that other person, the other parent, only wants to talk down about their parent, the other parent, the custodial parent, know that affects those children. Stop dogging your... See, that's one thing a lot of women don't do. And I apologize for keep stopping because, again, a lot of stuff going on in my mind. But have you ever noticed it's mostly not women that have an issue once a divorce is over or a relationship is ended? It's mostly the man. How can you hold somebody accountable for your cheating? How can you blame somebody for your cheating? How can you blame somebody for destroying your relationship or your family but yourself when you were the one doing it? See, relationships break up for different reasons. And me personally, I don't even care what the reasons are. But the fact that you laid down and you had children or a child by somebody does not mean that that child is a piggy bank. I've seen people have babies just to get money from somebody. I've seen it. It made me sick to my stomach, but I'm like, yo, if you're really going to be a parent, the correct type of parent, hell, I was a single parent. I took care of my son myself. Why? Because I found out his father wasn't. And that's okay. Because that's my baby. I gave birth to him. See, mothers have a different connection with their children than the fathers do. Like a lot of people like say, oh, that's daddy's little girl. That could be daddy's little girl. But you know what sometimes children will do? They will sit back and watch and see how you treat their mother and know that they'll never want to date anybody like you. They can love you because you're their parent. But they also know not to mess with somebody that reminds them of that other parent that caused chaos in their lives. People have no respect. It seems like to me. A lot of people have lost self-respect, honesty, devotion, love. A lot of people are living in control. They want to be in control of other people's lives instead of getting control of their own lives that are falling apart. Men do that. I've seen men do that. I've seen women do that. But see, when women do it, see it blow up in their face. And the reason why I say that, I've seen women say, oh, he want to give me $300 a week for child support. That ain't enough. You got a job. Do you do anything? So I sit in the house and collect his unemployment check, like his child support check. Like you got to be doing something. You have to feel less than a woman. And I don't mean all women. I'm talking about those women that have babies after babies after babies. Whether it's by the same father, different father, whatever. You have to feel crazy when it gets to a point where you are raising these children by yourself. You didn't make them by yourself, so you shouldn't have to raise them by yourself. So I say, if the child's mother or father is not doing what they're supposed to do, that's something different. Take them to court. Because normally I'll be like, keep them people out your business. But some people, either man or woman, should pay the price of trying to turn their children against the other parent for talking disrespectful and nasty about a parent and trying to turn their kids against the other parent. I think that's sad. That's childish and it's sad. Stop using y'all children as pawns. They're not pawn pieces in a game. Life is not a game. You could mess them kids up for life when you use your child as a pawn to get something from the other parent that you don't have. See, parents are supposed to raise their children. They're supposed to guide them. They're supposed to teach them what's good and what's bad. They're supposed to show them what life is about. And I feel like I may be wrong, and y'all can let me know down below if I'm wrong. But I feel like if a parent makes a bunch of kids outside of their home, and you can have a few kids here and a few kids there, make it your business. I don't care if you're messed up, you cheated or whatever, but make it your business to make sure your children know each other. They don't have to be close. They don't have to be none of that, but make sure they know each other because they're right around now. Even though stuff happened years ago, there are so many people popping up, doing videos, that have ended up marrying their brother or their sister because one was given away and one wasn't. And it's sad. It's very, very, oh, excuse me, it's very, very sad that people use their kids as pawns. I don't want to see people growing up with, oh, excuse me, not knowing their siblings so that they don't make the mistake to out here dating their own siblings. Because there are a lot of men that like to make a lot of babies all over the place. Just like that man with the, what is it, 17 kids he got? He got the nerve to be complaining. Man, if you'd have covered up, you wouldn't have them kids. Stop sleeping with just anybody. Raw at that. I need parents to really think about what they're doing to their children. See, I'm blessed I didn't have to worry about that. Because I feel like this, whether the father's there or not, that's my child. I gave birth to it. And that's my job to take care of. A lot of men don't feel that way. I watch men. They know their children, but they don't have a good relationship with them. Why? Because they didn't take the time to sit down and talk to them. Like men think they're only supposed to teach your children, whether it's a girl or a boy, how to stand up for themselves. What parents need to do is teach them real facts about life. Just don't give them crumbs depending their age. But let them know, look, I messed up. I apologize to you and your mom and whoever, or I apologize to your dad or whoever. But never think that I don't love y'all. Don't never think that I'm not here for you. Never think you have to hide anything from me. People need to teach those lessons to their children, because that is why there's a lot of children that have been SA'd and they never say anything. Because so many parents, if a child tells some parents don't believe it. I always say, believe your child until you see otherwise. Don't let that bad parent, and I say bad parent, because if you're not in it for taking care of your children and you're in it for a check, I call you a bad parent. If you're too lazy to get up off your ass and get a job, and all you want to do is sit home with them kids every day, I call you a bad parent. Because for centuries, women have worked, taken care of their kids, taken care of their husband, cleaned the house, did all that. A lot of people these days are overtired, and I'm like, how you overtired? Especially if you ain't did nothing all that. Stay-at-home parents have a big job. Never take that from them. Because you have to make sure, if you have little kids, you have to keep them on a straight and narrow. Make sure that they're good. Make sure they're ate, they're fed, they're clean, all that. But if both of y'all work outside of the household while you're in your relationship, both of you should take responsibility for the things inside the home as well, equally. Didn't expect this live to be that long. But again, to my sisters and my brothers, please stop using your children as pawns. Because if you don't stop, sooner or later they get older, they will start to use you as a pawn. So people don't think of it that way. There are too many children running around here angry at their mother or angry at their father and want to take their anger and rage out on them because they feel like they should have been there. Whatever parent has the child and is taking care of the child should make that child feel like they are not suffering. Make sure they're not going without. Make sure they're fed every day, cleaned every day. Some men, I can't say all men, because I know some men that take care of their children and raise them properly. And they raise their girls and know how to do their hair and all that. But, again, do not use your children as pawns, because that will backfire. That will backfire in your face, and then you're going to be madder than ever. So be careful of what you do with your children. Be careful how you handle your children. And again, stop using your children as pawns. They are little human beings that are growing up and they learn how to move through life by watching you. So if you are running amok in the streets, your kids will follow suit and do the same thing. So again, people, stop using your children as pawns in a game, because life is not a game. I have more to say, but I'm done. I wish you all a blessed morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is time you see this. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how you feel about this subject. Because again, I want to interact with people, and I want to know what they think about parents that use their children, it's men or women, use their children as pawns to try to get what they want, even when it still ain't gonna work. So I thank y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. To my subscribers, thank you for staying along for the ride. Anybody that's new coming through, thank you. I appreciate you coming through and checking out my content. Please leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. Like button will push me back out in the algorithm again and allow people to find my page. And if you're looking for some peace and quiet and some serenity, and a place where you can go and get some spiritual healing, learning how to control your anxiety, learning how to stand up in all your glory, because we are royalty at its best. So with that being said, it's a Stu Queen be out. Have a blessed day, y'all.
I spent so many nights sleeping on me, but I finally realized I'm all that I need. I'm that girl, been that chick, never needed no one else. I've been that bitch, plenty on my mind, a couple on the side.